Welcome to Forbidden Texts. What you are about to see may shock you. It may surprise you, but will definitely challenge everything you thought you knew. Stick around until the end to discover the forbidden knowledge that they don't want you to have.
They lied to you. Everything you think you know about yourself, your thoughts, your desires, your very identity has been carefully constructed to keep you asleep. But something inside you is stirring, isn't it? A feeling that there's more. A quiet knowing that the world isn't what it seems. Welcome to Forbidden Texts, where we explore ancient knowledge and forgotten wisdom. You weren't meant to wake up. The system depends on your blindness, on your willingness to play along. But now, cracks are forming in the illusion. Maybe you've started seeing patterns, questioning things you used to accept without thought. Maybe you felt disconnected from the life you once knew. Whatever it is, once the awakening begins, there is no way back. At first, it feels like a glitch in reality. Small things stand out. A conversation, a sudden realization, a dream that feels more real than waking life. But then it accelerates. Your mind starts unraveling the layers of conditioning that have shaped you since birth. You see the programming, the fear, the limitations imposed on you. And once you see it, you can never unsee it. But here's the truth they don't want you to know. This is only the beginning. What happens next will change everything. Your mind, your body, your soul. And if you stay with me, you'll understand why awakening isn't just a personal journey. It's a ripple effect, one that has the power to reshape reality itself. The call to awakening at first, it feels like the world is shifting around you, like reality itself is bending at the edges. You sense something deeper at play, something just beyond your reach. But the truth is, it's not the world that's changing, it's you. This is the moment where everything begins. The call to awakening is subtle at first, a whisper in the back of your mind. It comes in moments of stillness, in flashes of insight. You start questioning the things you've always accepted. The routines, the distractions, the expectations placed on you by society. Suddenly, they feel hollow. Something inside you is waking up, and the life you once lived no longer makes sense. Then, the signs start appearing. You notice synchronicities, numbers repeating, strange coincidences, moments that feel too perfect to be random. You feel disconnected from old friends, from conversations that once engaged you but now feel meaningless. You crave solitude, but at the same time, you long for something real, something beyond the surface, level existence you've been conditioned to accept. And then comes the breaking point. The catalyst. For some, it's a traumatic event, a loss, a betrayal, a moment that shatters their perception of reality. For others, it's a gradual unraveling, a slow, burning realization that life is not what they thought it was. No matter how it happens, one thing is certain. Once the veil lifts, it never comes back down. But there's a cost. Awakening is not easy. It is a death of the old self, a dissolution of everything familiar. And before you can step into the new, you must endure the storm, the dark night of the soul. This is the stage where most people turn back, if they could. But once you've seen beyond the illusion, there is no forgetting. The old ways no longer satisfy. You feel lost, untethered. The beliefs that once gave you comfort now feel like chains. The identity you once clung to is slipping away. You are shedding your past self, but you do not yet know who you are becoming. This is the test. The moment where everything you've ever known crumbles. And yet, if you can endure it, If you can face the darkness without turning away, something extraordinary happens. You emerge changed, reborn, no longer asleep, no longer bound by the old rules. And this is only the beginning. What happens next will transform not just your mind, but your body and soul as well. Stay with me, because where we're going next, things get even stranger. The mind unshackled everything you've ever believed about yourself, your limitations, your fears, your identity wasn't chosen by you. It was given to you, conditioned into you. The education system, the media, the culture you grew up in, all designed to keep you thinking inside a narrow, controlled framework. But now, something inside you has snapped. The walls of your mental prison are crumbling, and for the first time, you're seeing what lies beyond. At first, it's disorienting. The beliefs that once felt so solid now seem fragile, even absurd. You question everything. Why do I think the way I do? Why do I react this way? Where did these thoughts even come from? And then, you realize something that shakes you to your core. Most of them aren't yours. Your mind has been running on programs, loops installed long before you had the ability to question them. The fear of failure, the need for validation, the feeling that you're never enough, all of it was learned. And now that you see it, you begin to understand the truth. You are not your thoughts. This is where the battle begins. Because the mind does not give up its control easily. The ego, your false self, will fight to survive. It will whisper in your ear, tell you that you need these fears, these doubts, these stories about who you are. It will resist change because the ego thrives on control. But once you recognize its voice, you gain power over it. You start to separate from the thoughts that once ruled you. And then, something incredible happens. Your awareness expands. You begin to see beyond the physical world, beyond the distractions and illusions. You tap into something deeper, a knowing that exists beyond words. You feel connected to something greater, something infinite. Your intuition sharpens. Your mind becomes a tool, rather than a master. This is the liberation they never wanted you to find. Because a mind that is free cannot be controlled. A mind that is awake cannot be manipulated. The fear-driven world you once lived in no longer holds power over you. But this is just one layer. Because as your mind shifts, something unexpected happens. Your body, your physical vessel, begins to transform as well. And what comes next will challenge everything you thought you knew about what it means to be human. But that was the first lie. Your body is more than matter. It is energy, a frequency, a vessel designed to hold and channel something far greater than you were ever allowed to believe. And now, as your mind awakens, your body begins to follow. The first changes are subtle. You start to feel sensations you can't explain, vibrations, tingling, surges of energy moving through you. You might experience sudden waves of heat, pressure between your eyebrows, an unshakable sense that something inside you is activating. And you're right. Your nervous system is recalibrating. Your body is learning to hold a higher frequency. For years, it was operating in survival mode, locked in stress, tension, and stagnation. But now, that's changing. You're becoming more sensitive to energy, more aware of the food, people, and environments that either nourish or drain you. You feel repelled by processed foods, heavy substances, toxic relationships. Your cravings shift, sometimes overnight. Your body is trying to realign, trying to heal from years of neglect. And then, the real transformations begin. Your perception sharpens. Colors seem brighter, sounds more vivid. You start to notice the way different frequencies affect you. You feel the weight of certain places, the energy of people before they even speak. Your intuition is no longer just a feeling, it's a physical experience. What's happening to you is not a coincidence. Ancient traditions knew about this. The yogis, the shamans, the mystics, they understood that the body holds the key to spiritual awakening. It's why breathwork, fasting, movement, and energy cultivation have been practiced for thousands of years. Because when the body is purified, it becomes a conduit for something greater. And then, one day, you feel it. The shift. The sensation that your body is not just flesh, but light. That you are connected to something far beyond this physical form. You realize that the human body was never meant to decay under stress and sickness, that these are symptoms of a world designed to keep you weak. And once you understand this, you can never go back to the old way of living. But this is just the beginning. Because what's happening to your body is a reflection of something even deeper. Something that has been waiting to be reclaimed. Your soul. And that's where we're going next. The soul reclaimed something inside you has always known. No matter how deeply buried beneath distractions, conditioning, and doubt, there has always been a whisper, a silent pull towards something greater, something beyond the limits of this world. And now, as your mind and body awaken, that whisper grows into a roar. You are not just a person. You are not just a mind inside a body. You are something infinite, something eternal, something that existed before this life and will exist long after it. But for most of your life, you were made to forget. The modern world has spent centuries severing the connection between you and your soul. Religions turned spirituality into control. Science dismissed the unseen as illusion. Culture distracted you with artificial desires, convincing you that meaning comes from external validation. And for a while, it worked. But not anymore. Now, you feel it, the presence of something beyond thought, beyond language. You start to see glimpses of your true nature, moments where you feel completely at peace, completely present. Time slows. The chatter in your mind fades. And for the first time, you remember what it feels like to be whole. This is what the mystics, the sages, and the ancient seekers understood. That the soul is not something separate from you. It is you. The real you. The one that has been watching, waiting, whispering through dreams and intuition. And once you tap into it, everything changes. Your intuition sharpens. You begin to trust yourself in ways you never did before. You no longer need permission, approval, or validation. You simply know. You begin to attract experiences, people, and opportunities that align with your higher self. Synchronicities become undeniable. Doors open before you even reach them. And the more you align with your soul, the more the old world starts to fade. The fears, the attachments, the constant striving, they lose their grip on you. You stop living in reaction and start creating from intention. You step into your power, and for the first time, you understand what true freedom feels like. But with this freedom comes a realization, one that not everyone is ready to face. Because once you see the world for what it really is, you start to understand the deeper forces at play.
A quick message. This space has become something truly special for many of us. A community of people on a shared journey of spiritual growth, healing, and awakening. Your comments and stories inspire me every day, and it's clear there's so much more we can create together, especially since this path can feel lonely at times. That's why we've created a spiritual space on Patreon, a sanctuary for deeper connection, exclusive content, and meaningful conversations with others from this channel who share your journey. Together, we can build something uplifting, authentic, and spiritually powerful. If this resonates with you and you'd like to be part of something bigger, whatever you're going through, you'll find the link in the description or pinned in the comments. Your membership not only helps support the channel, but also helps grow this beautiful community. Let's create something amazing together.
You begin to see how reality itself bends to frequency, how your very existence shapes the world around you. And this is where everything shifts. Because the moment you understand this, you are no longer just waking up. You are reshaping reality itself. And where we're going next, things only get stranger. The reality shift reality is not what you were told. It is not solid. It is not fixed. It bends, moves, and reshapes itself according to forces that most people will never see, because they've been conditioned not to. But now, you are beginning to see it. You felt the shift. Synchronicities appearing in ways that are too precise to be coincidence. Thoughts manifesting into reality faster than ever. People you were meant to meet, crossing your path at exactly the right moment. It's as if the universe is responding to you directly, revealing a hidden system that has always been in place. And that's exactly what's happening. Your frequency, your very state of being, determines the reality you experience. Not luck, not chance. The world you live in is a mirror, reflecting back the energy you put into it. And the moment you begin to understand this, you stop playing by the old rules. Most people live on autopilot, trapped in the programming they've absorbed since birth. They wake up, go through their routines, follow the same patterns, never realizing that their reality is being created for them. But when you wake up, when you take control of your own energy, everything changes. You see, reality is not something that happens to you. It's something you shape. The law of vibration has been known for centuries, hidden in esoteric teachings and ancient wisdom. Every thought, every emotion, every action carries a frequency. Fear, anger, scarcity, they exist on a lower vibrational spectrum, pulling people into cycles of suffering and limitation. Love, gratitude, awareness, these exist on a higher spectrum, expanding consciousness, breaking old patterns, opening new doors. And the moment you shift your vibration, reality responds. This is why things that once felt impossible suddenly start to align. This is why you begin to notice how effortlessly some people move through life, while others struggle, trapped in their own resistance. It has nothing to do with luck. It has everything to do with frequency. And then, there are the signs, the repeating numbers, the sudden, unexplainable insights, the strange yet undeniable feeling that you are being guided. These are not random. They are signals from the unseen forces that have been with you all along, waiting for you to wake up. But here's where most people hesitate. Because once you understand this, you realize something even deeper. If you are shaping reality, then nothing is truly out of your control. And that kind of power comes with responsibility. Because now, there's no one left to blame. No external force holding you back. No system, no past, no person who could dictate your future, unless you let them. And this is where the final test comes. Will you embrace this power, step fully into it, and reshape your life from the inside out? Or will you fall back into the illusion, pretending that you are powerless? The choice is yours. But understand this, once you see how reality truly works, once you feel it for yourself, there is no going back. And this is where the awakened must face their greatest challenge yet. Because not everyone will understand. Not everyone will follow. And what comes next will test you in ways you never expected. The challenges of awakening sounds like enlightenment, freedom, a higher existence. But what they don't tell you is that it comes with a cost. Not everyone makes it through. Not everyone wants to. Because once you wake up, you no longer fit into the world the way you once did. At first, you try to go back, maybe out of habit, maybe out of comfort. You try to engage in the same conversations, the same routines, the same relationships. But something feels off. The topics that used to excite you now feel meaningless. The people you once resonated with seem distant, trapped in a version of reality that no longer makes sense to you. This is where the loneliness begins. When you awaken, you step outside of the collective dream. You begin to see the programming, the distractions, the way people cling to their illusions because it feels safer than facing the unknown. And the more you grow, the more you realize that not everyone is ready to wake up. Some people will resist you. Some will call you crazy, dismiss you, or even turn away from you entirely. And that's when you face one of the hardest truths of this journey. You will lose people, friends, family, partners. The connections that were built on your old self begin to dissolve, and for a while, it feels like you're walking through the void, alone. This is the test. Because this is the part where many turn back. The ego will tell you that you made a mistake, that you should go back to the way things were, that it's easier to stay asleep than to walk this path alone. But this is also where the greatest shift happens. Because the further you go, the more you attract the people who are meant to walk this journey with you. Your frequency changes, and as it does, so do the people you align with. You begin to find others who see the world the way you do. Conversations become deeper, connections more meaningful. You no longer tolerate shallow interactions or energy-draining relationships. And then, something even greater happens. You stop needing external validation altogether. The loneliness transforms into solitude. The need for approval disappears. You step into your own power, fully, without hesitation. You become the kind of person who moves through life with clarity, presence, and certainty. But that's not all. Because once you embrace this shift, once you fully integrate the awakening, you realize something even bigger. This was never just about you. Your transformation is part of something much larger. Because the final stage of this journey isn't just personal awakening. It's realizing that you are here to be part of something much, much bigger. The new you, the new world at this point. You've changed. There's no denying it. The old version of you, the one who played by the rules of the world, who sought comfort in illusions, who believed reality was something that just happened to them, that version is gone. And now, something new stands in its place. You've felt a shift within yourself, but now you start to see something even bigger. The world around you is shifting, too. You notice it in conversations, in the collective unrest, in the way more and more people are questioning everything they were once taught to believe. The illusion is cracking, not just for you, but for countless others. Because here's the truth they don't want you to see. Awakening is not an isolated event. It's a ripple effect. And the more people wake up, the harder it becomes to keep the illusion intact. You've probably felt it. That sense that the world itself is at a breaking point, that something massive is coming. And you're right. Humanity is on the edge of something we've never seen before, a complete shift in consciousness, a transformation of reality itself. But this is where your role changes. Because once you've broken free, once you've reclaimed your mind, body, and soul, a question remains: what will you do with it? Most people assume spiritual awakening is the final destination. That once you reach a certain level of awareness, you've made it. But the real journey begins here. Because now, you are no longer just a seeker of truth. You are a creator of reality. You begin to manifest effortlessly, not by forcing or chasing, but by simply aligning with who you truly are. You stop reacting to life and start shaping it. The struggle, the resistance, the endless cycles of doubt and fear, they fade because you no longer feed them with your energy. You move differently. People notice it. Some are drawn to it. Others feel threatened by it. But you no longer seek to convince anyone of anything. You understand that everyone awakens in their own time, in their own way. You don't waste energy on trying to change those who still cling to their illusions. You simply exist as proof that another way is possible. And without even trying, you begin to influence the world around you. Because your energy, your presence, your very existence is a frequency shift. And those who are ready to awaken will feel it. This is why you were called to wake up. Not just for yourself, not just to escape the illusion, but to become the living proof that reality is not what we were told. And this is where it all comes full circle. Because the world you once saw as a prison is now a blank slate. The rules you once followed no longer apply. The future is not something that happens to you. It is something you create. So the question is no longer, why is this happening to me? The question is, what will you do with the power you now hold? Because now, there is no way back. And the next move is yours. Conclusion. No way back. Look around you. Do you feel it? The shift, the old world crumbling, the illusion breaking apart. You are not imagining it. You are not alone in this. Something irreversible has begun, not just within you, but within humanity itself. And now, you stand at the threshold of a choice. You can never unsee what you have seen. You can never return to the person you were before this journey began. The thoughts, the patterns, the illusions that once held you in place, they no longer have power over you. And that is where most people hesitate. Because power comes with responsibility. And now, you know, beyond any doubt, that you are responsible for your own reality. There is no one left to blame. No system. No past. No external force dictating your future. Only you. And now, you must ask yourself, what will you do with this awareness? Because here's the final truth. Awakening is not an escape. It is not a destination. It is the beginning of something much greater. A new way of being, of existing, of creating. Most people will never walk this path. Most will choose comfort over truth, illusion over awareness. They will turn away, pretend they never saw, never questioned, never felt the calling deep in their soul. But you've come too far. You know too much. And now, the only way is forward. Because once you wake up, there is no way back.